We had spoken to your teammate in the summertime, and he spoke really highly of you, and obviously everything that you did on the track was just another kind of staple point for your team, and helps out a lot. So appreciate you coming on and agreeing to come on. Um, the biggest thing I always kind of do, especially when you have new guests on, is like I want to know a little bit more about you, man. Aside from the running part, so like first off, I guess like how'd you even start running?
Yeah, so in elementary school, we had like a 1 mile race at the end of the year. And so I did that from kindergarten to fifth grade, pretty much won every year. So I was like, okay, I'm pretty fast. I mean, everyone knew I was fast. So kind of started there. And then in sixth grade, I joined the cross country team, did pretty well there. And then COVID hit, so didn't have seventh grade. Then transferred to Forsyth, where I am now in eighth grade, and just got into it from there.
Huh. Yeah, COVID, it's funny because I feel like a lot of us too, like we kind of realize at a I don't want to say at a young age, but at a young age, man, that like we're pretty good at running. Usually it is like the gym class that's like we're just smoking everybody, or like you said, like kind of coming in first. Um, Hobbies. What are some hobbies like outside of running? What are we doing?
Yeah, so I play golf when I can. That's kind of one of my big hobbies. And then I'll play some ping pong here and there. I'm pretty good at it, so yeah.
All right, ping pong is definitely a first. I've heard a couple golfers on, but ping pong's a first. Um, you're good at it, or you're just
Yeah,
like,
I'm pretty good. I enjoy playing it a lot.
yeah, I suck. I have a few friends who growing up played with, and yeah, not my thing. So before we get into cross country, I know we're in cross country season, and obviously that's kind of the main focal point of everything. I think your track season is really interesting because it was so good, and I think it translates a lot over to cross country. Obviously, 412 in the 16, 913 in the 32, 154 in the 8. So obviously first, congrats on obviously being sub 2. That's a huge thing for a cross country runner to have that kind of speed. I'm curious though, man. The one thing that really stuck out was that 913. You went to Arcadia for that. How was that, dude? Like that's always like the premier spot to drop a good time.
Yeah, that was like the one race that I was really trying to crank out a fast 32. And so I went up the day before, and my flight actually got delayed. So I got there at like 12 a.m. there, which is like 3 a.m. here. So I just slept pretty much half the day, got up, got ready to race, and just ripped it. Yeah, I mean, it was a great experience. It was really fun. I had never been out on the West Coast, especially to race. So being out there, especially with the caliber guys who were out there, was just insane.
Yeah, it's crazy because like honestly, any heat that you get into there, you're gonna like the expectation is always high. What was I guess like even with that mindset of like, hey, like I just said there, like every heat is gonna be something. It's gonna be fast. What was your mentality? Was it just to hang in with the pack and let them kind of pull you to a fast time, or what were you kind of shooting for?
Yeah, I was kind of just more of see what I can do, just kind of let the race play out the first mile or so, and then see how I'm feeling from there. So I felt all right during it. Didn't have the best close, but yeah, just kind of let them play me along or pull me along. That was kind of the game plan.
Yeah, and when you look at the range of 800 to 16 or the 800 to 32, like I think just an eye test, I think the 16 looks um probably it looks like your best event on paper. Is that a fair argument, or like what do you feel more confident in? Like what's more comfortable for you?
Yeah, I think just kind of how my training was structured for track. I think the 16 is kind of my sweet spot. But this season, I'm trying to really focus on 16 and 32 and kind of use this cross country season to build that base for it.
Yeah, is the 8 anything I mean, I guess you said you kind of want to dabble up more in the longer events. Is the 8 is it too fast for you, or do you feel like you could drop maybe like a 151 type range?
I mean, I think I could run something fast in an open race. I haven't been in a fast one in a while. I mean, at States, I split 152 in the open, and then the next day I ran that 154. So I think I definitely run something quick. It just kind of depends on what race that would be at, like with guys who could run fast.
Yeah, and it's always cool. Again, because we've had a couple guys on who are well under 8, or well under 2 for the 8. And I'm always curious, with that kind of speed, especially when you translate it over to cross country, like, do you feel pretty confident just about any race? Like, I'm gonna be able to outkick you.
Yeah, I mean, definitely depends how I'm feeling on the day, but I know kind of have that in my back pocket. So it's something that I'm kind of confident about, knowing that, if they're faster than me in cross country, but I'm with them, I have that speed.
Yeah, I always kind of joke around with my son. His kick, like it's something that it's nice to rely on because it's like, well, I know even if you get the first one or two off a little bit, like I know you're gonna be able to close pretty well. So I mean that's really kind of just yeah, like you said, like a nice thing to kind of have in your back pocket to have that confidence. Um, Diving into kind of cross country, you committed to Wake Forest. Um, I guess first off, like how was that whole process? Like why Wake Forest? Um, was it mainly academics? Did you like obviously the athletic side of things as well? Like walk me through that whole process of why did we commit there?
Yeah, so my parents both went there, and so it's kind of I live close to it too, so it's always been, I've known about it. And then after freshman year, I went to cross country camp there, met a couple of the guys on the team, the coaches, and I just kind of fell in love with the school. I mean, they have great academics, obviously a good cross country and track team, and then the guys on the team are really tight. So just kind of getting that exposure freshman year really made me kind of want to go there. And so then through sophomore and junior year, I kept going back to that camp and kept building a relationship with the coaches. And that was kind of the main place I wanted to go ever since day one.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Obviously, like you said, the family history being there and going to camp there, it makes sense. It makes perfectly good sense, and it's cool that you kind of get that like out of the way with, like you know where you're gonna go. You don't have to kind of worry about anything else the rest of the season there. Um, Pivot a little bit now. Summer training comes around. Um, Again, coming off a really good track season, how do you think the summer training went? Did you accomplish everything you kind of wanted to, or was there still some things that you thought maybe you need to work on prior to the season opening up?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely my best summer by far, definitely my most consistent. Because last summer I had just kind of a bad sickness that kind of drove into cross country season. Then I had iron deficiency. So just this season, I really wanted to get a fresh start, just be good and consistent and not push it too hard. So yeah, I built up to 50 miles by early August. So it was just kind of a slow build, just a bunch of bass and tempos and stuff like that. And I feel like it really helped me build that because I hadn't had that in the past. So having that kind of to build off of going into the season was pretty good.
Yeah, and so you again you come off the great track season, you have a good summer training session there. Um, 1534 or 1535, excuse me, from last season in the cross. What were some of the goals, I guess, looking into this season? I mean, uh, the big one has to be the sub 15. I mean, you are close, and obviously with the track speed and everything. But what were some of those goals originally?
Yeah, so sub 15 was definitely kind of a big one going into the season. And then also just kind of competing for wins. Last season, I didn't really have the chance to do that. So just kind of wanting to put my name out there this season, compete for big wins, try to be up there with some of those top guys in the state and the Southeast was kind of a big goal this year.
Yeah, and so 1506 PR Heron Hounds, man. Like, hey, kudos to you, man. That's obviously um, you almost there. You almost there, and obviously that course is tricky sometimes. It's I don't know why because obviously like we raced over there this past weekend, and you see the times, man. Like, and you obviously know the history there, and some years at Foot Locker it was top 10. You had to run sub 15 just to make it out, and it's like, but then other times like it'll take 15-15 to make it out, and it's kind of weird how it plays. It really I don't know if it's weather dependent or it's just how it goes out. But 1506 you ran. Walk me through that race. Is that the mindset like, hey, we're at McAlpine, we're gonna go, for the sub 15 right there, or what?
I mean, I kind of put time out the window. I was just kind of focusing on competing with I mean, Kavi and Owen, they were the top two going into it. Both had run sub 15. So I was like, if I just kind of hang off them, then I know I'll run fast. So yeah, I got out well, just kind of held it. Then Kavi made a big move with a mile to go, try to hold on as long as possible. And then coming down that last big loop, I saw the clock right at the 2 mile, like you pass that back. And I was like, oh, this is going to be fast. So yeah, that kind of pumped me up. And then I saw the clock and I was like, wow.
Now, I want to ask you this because is there ever a time where like, because I know you mentioned Kavi and he could have his own plans for that day. Obviously, you kind of assume like he's going to get out hard and go fast. Um, but what if he doesn't? What if he's just playing to like, I just want to relax today. Do you feel like you have that confidence to like be able to have that self awareness? Like, all right, something's he's going slower. Like we need to push it, or you kind of like you want to sit back. Like, are you afraid to take the lead at all a bit, or no?
No, I mean, I definitely want to kind of stay back a little bit, especially during that first half, just not to kind of gas it too much. But if I feel like the pace is slowing down too much and I know that I'm feeling good, then I'll definitely take it and just kind of take control of the race.
Yeah, I think that's like you see you see some guys kind of play into that a little bit where the pace may be too fast and they almost get sucked into it and they don't have the self-awareness to actually pull back. But then I feel like other times it could be complete reverse and it's like it's going out slow and you may have to be that one who does push the pace and get everything going. So 15:06, when you're going through that race and you're staying with the guys there, do you realize, I mean, I know you mentioned that like 2 mile, you kind of like that, was that the first indication that you knew like, all right, today's going to be a fast one?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I saw that and I was like, okay. I mean, that's 450 pace right there. We came through 940, so I was like, this is gonna be fast. And it's the first time I really was feeling good in probably 2 years of cross country. So I was like, all right. I mean, this is a good spot. I know I'm gonna run well. Just gotta hang on and make a good move, strong move, and a strong finish.
Yeah, and do you hear, I love asking this, man, but like, do you hear anybody, like your coaches or your parents talk to you or like yell at you or anything? Or are you just kind of like completely in the zone?
I mean, definitely towards the beginning of the race, kind of I'll hear my coach and teammates, friends, all that. And then once it's probably about 800 to go or something like that, I'm just completely zoned in at that point. So yeah, I just kind of block it all out.
Yeah, I always find that interesting. Like I feel like even in track too, there like you would think you could hear more. I mean, at least for me, like, but then there's just so many voices, so many people screaming, and you're like in a confined area. Let alone cross country, you can kind of get that random person who may be at like 1.3 just standing in the woods over there. I want to talk about Great American. Have to talk about it. On paper, again, you're kind of like, okay, something happens. Well, I guess what is the story on that one?
Yeah, so the week prior to that, or just that week in general, I'd kind of been feeling kind of sick, had a bad cough, a lot of congestion. I mean, still have it now. And then kind of woke up that morning and I knew something was kind of off. Wasn't hungry at all. Couldn't really get any food down. And so we get to the start line and I was just hot. Like it felt really hot. I don't know if it was the weather or what. And so I was like, all right, just put it out of the mind, just go race. And so I was fine, kind of didn't feel great, but got out hard. We came through in like 4:33 or something. And then got through 2 miles in like 9:40, and then that's where it started burning. Like my legs were just burning at that point. So we got to the bottom of the hill, and I think my body just gave out. I was hungry. I just didn't know what was happening, and just kind of collapsed to the side, threw up, and just wasn't able to really move. And so when I got home, I got my temperature checked, and it was 101.5. So yeah, I had a pretty bad fever, and I didn't know that going into it. So I just kind of wanted to put it out to the side, just race my best, but just body couldn't do it.
Yeah, and it sucks obviously to have like days like that on some of those bigger days, but again, like I mean, you learn a lot about it. I mean, I'm sure you learned quite a bit of just even going out that fast. I mean, Wake Med is notorious for those blistering paces, so obviously now like even feeling like crap. I mean, like hey, worst comes to shove, I can, go out there and keep it for a good while. Um, obviously you have a teammate, right? You have a teammate who you can run with. You don't see that everywhere, obviously. Some teams are fortunate to have, you know, maybe maybe two, three guys, four, maybe five, even studs on a team, um, and some have none. Some are kind of out there solo. You have John there. How much has he kind of helped you this season? Obviously, uh, state champion, so he's got the experience. He has a lot of the knowledge and whatnot, especially with Wake Mid too. But how much has he helped you kind of go through this cross country season?
Yeah, I mean, he's crucial to my success, especially this season. I mean, we just train together every day. We're best friends. We hang out every day. So just kind of having that relationship with a teammate is really special. And then just in workouts and everything, just pushing each other, taking off leads and stuff like that. It's just really good. Helps you kind of get through the workout better, helps you get through the run better, and it kind of helps you get in that mindset like you're competing every day. Just having that guy at that caliber with you. So I mean, it's just amazing having him with me by my side.
Yeah, and like I said in the summertime, he spoke really highly of you, and just again to kind of have, like you said, like to have that teammate to kind of push you, keep you honest too as well. I think that's super important. You know, we talked about some of the goals early on. Obviously, sub 15 is there, um, and you're close to it, and then obviously just competing every race. Now that we're like halfway through the season, have any of those goals changed at all, or like is there something else that's even on the radar? Because I know when you look at 15:35, we were, um, sub 15 looks like that could be the season ending goal. But now, obviously, running 15:06, I mean, halfway through the season here, I almost think like, okay, is like maybe 14:50. I mean, I know we haven't broke 15 yet, but it's like, is 14:50 something in there, or has any of the goals changed?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to push myself to as fast as I can go and just competing. I mean, honestly, that's kind of the big thing. Really want to qualify for either NXN or Brooks now. So just kind of competing well, getting experience for those, especially at Wakeman and McAlpine. Just going into that with a lot of confidence would be crucial.
Yeah, and I was gonna ask, like, obviously, being in North Carolina, even South Carolina here, we kind of have the luxury in a way of, we get to run at Wake Med quite a few times. We get to even like train over there, or same as McAlpine, we can get over there a couple times in the summer, or race there a couple times in the year, versus obviously some of these Florida teams and Georgia and whatnot. Um, when you look at whether it's Brooks or NXR, do you have a preference of where you'd want to? I mean, I'm not sure, but I think you could double if you wanted to. I think
Yeah,
the dates do align. Is that consideration to try and double, or is there kind of one versus the other?
yeah, I think I'll double. I mean, if NXR goes really well and I qualify, then maybe I'll kind of reevaluate, seeing if I want to do Brooks. Just want to kind of stay fresh for as long as possible. Being able to compete, if I make nationals, being able to kind of hold the peak for another month or so. So yeah, I mean, just it's very nice having these courses in North Carolina because you kind of have that experience versus other people like in Florida. So
Yeah, and so, and I know we just mentioned McAlpine and Wake Med, but there are other courses out there, and obviously throughout. Do you have a favorite course that you kind of gravitate towards more?
yeah, I mean, I think it is McAlpine. Just kind of, I really enjoy it. It's through the woods a lot. I mean, it's pretty flat. I mean, you have that one hill, but I mean, it's not that bad. And it's kind of nice because you hit the 2 mile mark and you're like, oh, we only have a mile left. So I think it's just one of those races where it goes by kind of quickly. So yeah.
Yeah, you know, that's a first. I think a lot of people do kind of gravitate towards that Wake Med, just because the downhill at the start and it's such a fast mile. But then again, like you kind of mentioned, with McAlpine, obviously, and just the history there as well. I mean, the history for both courses. I want to ask. You kind of look at um, the state of North Carolina and how it's kind of developed over the past few years, and it's always been really good. But it seems like now more than ever, there's plenty of guys that are sub 15 or going like close to sub 15, running these fast times. Have you noticed that kind of change throughout your running days?
Yeah, I mean, freshman year, when I was running like 16:07 or whatever, I mean, that was probably one of the top in the state. And now, if you're running that, you're probably 50th or so. I mean, it's just kind of crazy how fast guys have gotten, and just more people have gotten into the sport, I think. So, having that is honestly really nice because it's just more competition. I mean, it's just guys are getting better. That means you got to push yourself to get better too and kind of match what other guys are doing.
Yeah, and again, we bring it back to like even just like both of our states here. But that it really does push the competition level, pushes the time level of, you know, yeah, like you said, like, you know, running, I hate to say like running sub 16 is, or a 16 flat or even is slow, you know, it's not, but it's like, it's just the level of competition. So many guys are doing it now. It breeds more competition and more times. And I mean, obviously you see that a lot at Great American and you see that a lot at Wendy's and Hare and Hounds and all that. Um, you know, I want to ask about, you know, the rest of the season. I think at least I always tell like my kids and whatnot, like, you know, even though you run a PR, you know, like celebrate it, have fun with it, but you know, also kind of look in a little bit and see like there's always some things to work on. Um, whether it be I know you know can attest to that probably in the 8 or the 16 or 32 or any event. But what are some of the things that you think you need to work on for the rest of the season to kind of achieve some of those goals you've already set out?
Yeah, I mean, I think running that time, 15:06, really gave me a lot of confidence that I know I can be with those guys. So just now having that confidence, just being able to actually execute and go for those wins and make those moves, I think that's kind of something I need to work on. And then just staying consistent. I mean, kind of getting over the sickness right now, but just getting past that, getting back to training fully and being really consistent, I think will help me a lot in the long run, which will help me make those moves and kind of have that kick at the end to beat these guys.
Yeah, no man. Again, bring up great points. I'm curious. I got a couple more questions here that I really want to ask. Again, being so like you're a stud, man. You're running fast. Like it's inspiring and it's cool to see. Do you ever? And I asked Ethan Rich this, but do you ever have like anxiety, like being out in front, being in that front pack because everybody's literally like gunning after you, or because I feel like there's just a lot of pressure in a way. Because if you're leading that or you're in the front, it's like, holy crap, like I have to perform well. Do you ever feel any of that kind of anxiety?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely put a lot of pressure on myself to perform well. Just kind of want to be at the top all the time, but that doesn't always happen. So just kind of, I've kind of flipped my mindset to be just do your best on that day, and if you don't have it, then you don't have it. I mean, everyone has bad days, so just kind of getting over that, and really realizing that if you give yourself 100% effort every day, then you're gonna be satisfied no matter what. So, I mean, just kind of taking that pressure off yourself in the front pack. I mean, obviously you want to win, but if you don't have it, then it's okay. I mean, it's okay to lose. So just kind of flipping that mindset and really realizing that you just got to do your best, even if you have it or you don't.
Yeah, and you know, and it kind of goes into, you know, my last kind of questions here. You know, you see with nowadays, you know, cross or even running in general has turned into a year-round sport with cross country, indoor. You know, some guys could do the indoor stuff, and then outdoor. And outdoor is starting to go, you know, crazy long into the summertime with New Balance and Nike and all that good stuff. And with that, you know, you see a development of like, you know, middle schoolers and freshmen coming up. Um, and again, a testament to you of like you've been doing it for a while. You know the ins and outs. What is some of that kind of advice that you would give to like a middle schooler or a freshman coming into the sport and just trying to find their groove of things for, you know, the next 4, 5 years?
Yeah, I mean, you can't expect too much too early, I feel like. I feel like a lot of times, especially middle schoolers or freshmen, they get too caught up in the times that people are running. But you just got to realize that it's so early and you have so many years to develop into it. And so just kind of staying consistent with your training, just enjoying the sport is kind of the main thing that I would tell those guys. Just don't get too caught up in the times and what other people are doing. Just kind of focus on yourself, figure out your groove, how you train, how you race, getting that experience. I think that'll help more in the long run than being too caught up in what's going on around you.
Yeah, man. No, you said it. You said it well. I think you know you see it now, and it's so like. I mean, we just had obviously you guys have an eighth grader who's like what 15, 12. He ran at Asics and or Adidas, and then and we just had a guy who ran 1550 this past week in eighth grade, and it's like that's awesome. It's great, and it's just like I hope that it stays, because you don't want to see it fade away, and you don't want to see them like hate the sport, by senior year and all that jazz. Um, so yeah, man. No, I appreciate you coming on, dude. I think again you're having such a great season. I think there's so much expectation um, that I think like as media and myself obviously put on you and put on every race, and that's why like when you see the Great American Race, you're like, oh, what the heck happened? Like, oh, George, come on, and then you get to talk to you though and hear about it. Like, hey, everybody has an off day, man, and there's just things that you can't you can't predict and you can't tell what's gonna happen. But it's cool to hear from you and kind of hear that backstory of like, dude, I'm normal. I'm not crazy superhuman. I'm just like everybody else. Um, but to see your work ethic and to see how everything is kind of working for you and obviously all the success that you've had, it's really awesome to see, man. And I wish you the best of luck. I wish John the best of luck, your team the best of luck. Thanks again for coming on. Super stoked. We'll be following the rest of the year, man. Good luck.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.